everybody, I'm back with the February Stash Bash, and we are focusing this month on using up gemstones and enamel dots and all those kinds of things. So I am doing a layout using a whole bunch of those today. I am mostly using Doodlebug Design papers and such, a lot from their Under the Sea collection that came out last year. I'm going with a little girl layout today. So the first thing I'm doing is I had cut out a circle to use as the focal point on my layout, and I am using a craft knife and going through this scalloped paper and just cutting part of the scallops up kind of randomly, and I'm going to use that just to add some texture to the layout. And so I did that through the whole thing, but you'd have to sit here for 20 minutes just to watch that. So I'm not going to put you through that. So I edited part of that out. I am adding that purple paper then to a bigger white circle. And apparently this is like a trend for me, because actually a layout I'm going to put up tomorrow, I do something very similar where I'm layering circles. So don't be surprised tomorrow when you see a new video just like that. I cut out a tree on my silhouette, and originally I thought I'd do a whole tree, but then when I saw this branch of a tree, I thought it looked really cool. It would look really cool with a circle shape and would be complementary to that movement on the layout, and so I decided to just go with that. And again, I'm using patterned papers. These are all from Doodlebug. This is just a really subtle striped paper from their Petite Prince collection. That's what it's called. And it's got it's a lighter brown with darker brown stripes on it, but it's very subtle. And actually, when you look at it close up in pictures, it almost looks like it's that corrugated paper, corrugated cardstock paper. And then my yellow background is actually the exact same print, just different color. I am using just one picture today. I've been kind of on a multi-photo layout kick, and so today I'm going back to just one, and this one is of my daughter hanging out in the grass last year. And I, as you can see, I'm using some scrap paper even for my photo mat. This one is just an old one that I had on hand, and rather than cut into some new white paper, I used that as a background. I ended up deciding my title was going to be from this big 12 by 12 sheet from Doodlebug that said little girls' dreams are of magical things, and then it had little mermaids underneath it. Well, I don't need the mermaids today, so I am going ahead and fussy cutting the title out, and I'm using a variety of approaches to this fussy cutting. For this part, I'm leaving a little bit of the aqua blue border around it. I believe the color with Doodlebug is actually called Swimming Pool, which is kind of a perfect fit because it's a greenish blue turquoisey color. And I fussy cut around the script words, and then I am also going to use some different techniques besides just fussy cutting the outline, and you'll see that here as I line up my title. I am actually going to use my laser square to help me get things lined up appropriately. It was kind of tricky to figure out where exactly I was going to place everything with such a long title. So I did all that off screen and then came back for you guys. But you can see, okay, so the top there and the bottom are both outlined. I fussy cut along the outline of the script, leaving a little of the blue on there. As well as then Dreams is a print font, and I cut each of those out individually, but then R of I cut into a banner shape, and I loved the variation. I was really happy with how that came out. Wasn't sure as I started cutting how the whole thing was going to come together, but was really pleased with what I was able to do there. So this is where this new laser square comes so in handy. I do not have to worry that I'm getting Dreams all wacky and off, and so that just makes that part of scrapbooking so much easier. Although you can see I'm getting it straight, but I'm going back and correcting. I get them a little too far apart, and so I need to get them close together or I'm going to run out of room on the layout. And I'm just using a sticker maker to add all those. So now I'm going to start adding on the stash that we are after this month, and that is enamel dots. Now, typically, I don't use a whole package of enamel dots on a project, but I wanted to make these to look like flowers on this tree. And so I am just going to go nuts with it. And I figure I had this whole pack, and I actually hadn't opened this one from this specific collection yet, which is kind of astonishing because I use enamel dots constantly. But that kind of gave me the freedom. Okay, this is a year old. I can open this and really get after it. I also decided I would add it along the title as to kind of accent and bring the eye into the title. And I love the movement it creates where your eye kind of starts at the bottom of the tree and then works your way around that circle all the way down the title. The next thing I'm adding is some gemstones from Imaginus, and these go on with this hot tool. And to be quite honest with you, I'm not going to talk a ton about this because I don't even know how readily available it is anymore. It's a couple years old and it's great, but it is a lot of extra work on a layout. So I use it here and there, but funny enough, my room was not clean enough for me to be able to find the rhinestones that I originally was looking for to use today. And so I decided I would get this out and really dig into the stash and use it. So if it's still available, I will link you up to it in the comments. I'm just not sure that it is since Imaginus is no longer, and I'm not sure whether or not We Are Memory Keepers or American Crafts is offering the same thing. I used it a lot when I was on the Imaginus team a few years ago, but since then it's kind of taken a back seat in my creating. But that said, it's supposed to be using stash today, and so it's a great way to use that up. And what you can see is it's a hot tip on there, and the gemstones all have a little adhesive on the back, and so basically you're warming up the gemstones to put them on there. And I am using several different sizes and different, not different colors. I'm using just a traditional gemstone. But what I wanted to do on this is to really add some sparkle amidst all the color. So not to take away from the flowery look of the enamel dots, but to just add some twinkle to the layout, since I felt like a layout about little girls' dreams, added twinkle was a good thing. This again was a major time commitment, and you're seeing a lot of it, but I edited out a ton of it too. So this is where I ended up, and I'm going to add a little bit more, and you'll see that in my final picture, but that's about it. And I want to thank you so much for visiting today. I am doing a giveaway of a $10 scrapbook.com gift card this month. Just leave me a comment here to be entered into that, and I will be sure to choose a winner. I will choose a winner on the 28th of March when my next series gets over. Thanks so much.